Okay. Trading objektif, kita ada equity risk. Apa lagi? What else? What other risk that we have discussed? Equity price risk, interest rate risk. Liquidity risk, operational risk. Apa lagi? Currency risk. Currency risk. These are the risks that we have covered, right? So trading very important, right? Okay, very important. Untuk trading objektif ada 3 jenis saja, iaitu hedging, speculating, and also arbitraging. So ini adalah objektif yang penting lah, ya. Semua pelabur, investor ataupun trader adalah terdiri daripada antara 3 jenis ini sahaja. Semua. Dalam semua pelabur di luar sana boleh dikategorikan kepada 3 jenis kategori ini ataupun objektif ini. Yeah, first one is hedging, okay. Dan juga dan next one is speculating. Next one is arbitraging. Right. So untuk kursus ini, as we have discussed, kita fokus kepada hedging sahaja. Ya. So andaikan kita adalah seorang pelindung nilai, right? Di mana objektifnya adalah bukan untuk membuat keuntungan, not to make profit, but to minimize, eliminate, and reduce the risk of loss. Ini adalah kita punya manage. So this is how we manage, right? So we are the hedger in this case. Speculating adalah objektifnya adalah untuk mendapatkan keuntungan, sama juga dengan arbitrage. Right. So untuk kursus ini juga kita ada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jenis, 6 jenis risiko. Satu lagi adalah credit risk. Right? Credit risk. Okey, untuk setiap risiko-risiko di atas, for each type of risk above, we must be able to define. Each of the above risks. Right? Apakah maksud equity price risk? Apakah itu interest rate risk? Apakah itu currency risk? Apakah itu credit risk, liquidity, dan operational risk? Right? Able to define. Next adalah sources. Dari manakah risiko-risiko ini datang sumbernya? Right? Apa yang menyebabkan harga saham berubah contohnya? Apa yang menyebabkan kadar faedah berubah? Mengapa mata wang asing berubah? Okay, mengapa wang ringgit kita berubah? Right? Sekarang pound sterling sudah tinggi, kan? Contohnya. Apakah credit risk, liquidity risk, dan juga operational risk? Dari manakah datangnya sumber-sumber itulah? Seperti yang telah kita bincangkan. Equity price risk. Okay. Next one. So we know to define, dalam arti kata lain tu, define tu kita boleh bezakan lah, differentiate, differentiate each of the above risks. Bezakan. Ni walaupun, so seperti yang kita as we have noted, as we have came across, all these risks are actually interrelated, ya. Dia ada hubung kait, ya. Contohnya satu bond itu ada 2 risiko di situ yang perlu kita uruskan. Contoh bond merupakan ada dua contoh. Satu, kita perlu uruskan kadar faedah. Jika kadar faedah meningkat, harga bond akan jatuh contohnya. Jika kadar faedah jatuh, harga bond akan naik. So, bergantung kepada posisi kita, sama ada seorang pembeli atau penjual, seorang pelabur ataupun peminjam, ini akan mempunyai kesan terhadap keuntungan. Jadi bagaimana kita menguruskan risiko ini. Dalam masa sama, bond juga selain daripada risiko kadar faedah, kita juga perlu menguruskan credit risk, di mana sebagai seorang peminjam kita tidak terdapat kemungkinan berlakunya kemungkaran, iaitu tidak dapat mendapat semula pelaburan yang telah dibuat. Right, so ya, ini adalah tapi untuk kursus ini kita persatu lah ya, asing-asing. Right, so yang paling penting sekali adalah how to manage the above risk. Right, paling penting sekali how to manage the above risk. Right, untuk equity price risk, kita ada dua, kita sudah bincang sebut risiko ini, yaitu menggunakan futures dan juga options. Okey, saya ulang semula. Untuk kursus ini kita adalah seorang hedger. Hedging lah. Objektif kita menguruskan risiko tersebut. Jadi kita menguruskan risiko itu dengan cara melindungi nilai, bukan mendapatkan keuntungan. Kita ada department ya dalam satu investment bank contohnya. Ada satu department sebagai hedging department, short sales, etc. Sekarang dalam kes ini kita fokus untuk melindungi nilai. Ataupun kalau kita bandingkan satu organisasi, ada satu department yang menguruskan jual beli untuk mendapatkan keuntungan. Satu department lagi menguruskan keuntungan ini, yaitu dengan cara membeli dan menjual insurans. So, insurans dan menjual beli itu berbeza department, walaupun mereka dalam satu organisasi. So, dalam kes ini kita merujuk kepada hedging, melindungi nilai. More like for insurance purposes lah. Okay, so jangan lupa juga kita juga ada mengukur risiko. Sebelum itu kita ada pengukuran risiko, yaitu kita dulu pengukuran risiko, yaitu VAR dan juga CVAR. So, kita ukur risiko in worst case scenario. What is the percent? So dalam case scenario itu, the worst case scenario itu contohnya VAR 1% adalah 10.000 contohnya. Jadi 10.000 ini perlu diuruskan lah, perlu dilindung nilai. Okay. Jadi selepas itu kita, equity prices untuk futures kita gunakan equity futures lah. Kita gunakan equity futures. Ini untuk benefit yang baru join kelas ni lah kan. I think someone. So far we have 37 orang sahaja ya. Equity futures. So kita ada dua strategi, yaitu long hedge dan juga short hedge. Right? Jadi penting juga to see the direction. Kita perlu buat juga cost of carry model. Cost of carry model. Okay. All right. So this is like a revision, right? Because next week kita finalize lah semua. So to start early, you can 16 hari bulan kan kita exam kan, so 1 month from now. So you can start your revision from now. What you need to cover lah, right? So option, okay. Option kita boleh guna equity option. Equity option ini sudah kita bincang ya, sudah bincang. Sama juga kita equity option ada challenging sikit sebab kita perlu guna the Greeks. Okay. Contohnya delta hedging, dan juga gamma hedging. Sorry, gamma neutral, dipanggil neutral ya, bukan hedging. Gamma neutral, ialah neutral, right? Gamma neutral, delta hedging, sama saja lah, tapi kita guna delta neutral. Okay, kita sudah bincang minggu lepas, pengiraan delta, how to compute delta, vega, theta, rho, apa lagi? Ada 5 kan? Delta, gamma, vega, theta, rho. Semua itu. Jadi apakah implikasinya? How do we neutralkan? Because delta, the Greeks adalah sensitivity terhadap inilah. Jadi kita mau dapatkan delta kosong. Itu maksudnya delta neutral. Jika delta kosong, jadi perubahan itu sensitivity itu sudah kosong lah, right? That's right. Jadi tidak perubahan delta. Harga delta adalah sensitivity harga saham ke atas harga option. Jadi jika delta kosong, perubahan harga saham tidak memberi kesan kepada perubahan harga option. Itu secara teori. Nanti kita akan, so ini belum habis kita bincang. Kita akan bincang lagi dalam minggu depan. Ya, dengan lebih detail lah. Right? Next one. Okay. Kita dalam kes ini juga kita telah pelajari. I'm not sure whether it was this semester or last semester. Kita ada Black Source Model. Ya. They are all related lah. Semua pun related. Ya. Black Source Model and Binomial Model. Right. Itu adalah untuk equity price risk secara ringkas. Right? Ini adalah berkenaan dengan how to manage the above risk. Okay. Untuk setiap risiko, as we have discussed earlier on, as I mentioned earlier on, untuk setiap risiko-risiko itu kita perlu able to differentiate each of the above risk. Dari manakah datangnya risiko-risikonya, risiko-risiko ini. Contohnya apa yang menyebabkan perubahan, turun naiknya interest rate, currency dan etc. Alright. Okay. Untuk interest rate, kita basically secara in a nutshell, these are the things we have discussed. Kita telah bincang tentang which is a guide for you to do your revision. Kita telah bincang duration, convexity, dan juga balance sheet, immunization. Right? So, perlu tahulah apa yang kita maksudkan dengan duration, zero duration gap, convexity, and balance sheet immunization. Right? Ini setelah kita bincang juga, right? Ini adalah kita panggil traditional method lah. Traditional method untuk menguruskan risiko kadar faedah. Dalam masa yang sama juga, kita perlu juga bincang interest rate swap. Ini adalah modern approach. Oke. Ini kita belum bincang lagi. Kita akan bincang ini juga. Yang kuning ini belum habis lah. So that we know di mana kita berada sekarang. Yang mungkin ada yang tertinggal, mungkin ada yang tertinggal. Jadi kita boleh tahu di mana kita berada. Ya. Ada soalan setakat ini? Testing 1, 2, 3. Are you with me? Oh, semua sudah tidur? Testing 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3, 1, testing. Are you with me? Are you sleeping? Hari ini 40 orang sahaja. Right? Okay, ada banyak thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Kumarisan ada sini. How are you? Long time no see. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Selamat datang ke kursus risiko pengurusan risiko keuangan. Right. Okay, next one. Current series. Current series juga kita perlu tahu juga what is meant by. I think everyone knows what is current series. The risk that the foreign exchange fluctuate, right? Okay, this one we will discuss. We will discuss currency swap. So basically, this is how we're discussing here now, yeah? How to manage the above risk. So for currency risk, we use currency swap. Okay, currency swap. Okay, this one we will look further. We will cover more detail. So credit risk. Credit risk. Sama juga, kita sudah bincang. We know what is credit risk, right? By now, everyone should know what is credit risk. The risk that you will not be able to get your money back. And how do we manage this? Sometimes when we lend our money, for example, to our friends, kita bagi pinjam uang kepada kawan. Pinjam berapa? RM5 sahaja. Awal semester 1. Until now, semester 6, belum bayar lagi. Kawan belum bayar. So what we do? This is a risk lah, rugilah. Kita dapat balikkan uang RM5, rugilah, right? So mau saman kawan pun tak boleh saman. Ya, sebabnya memang tak ada uang sudah. Mungkin dia bisnesnya sudah bankrupt atau disebabkan oleh COVID contohnya. Bukan dia tak nak bayar, tapi tak mampu nak bayar. Memang tak boleh bayar sudah. Okay, so how do we recover our RM5? Okay, so this is when it comes to, this is when we have an instrument which is called credit derivative. Okay, instrumen ini baru juga diperkenalkan di Malaysia. Di Amerika pun masih baru, 20, 30, 40 tahun yang lalu sahaja. Di Malaysia 10, 20 tahun yang lalu. Right? So this is a very new instrument. So dalam credit derivative ini ada tiga jenis lah. Satu, credit default swap. Right? Okay. So then we have liquidity risk. Then we have operational risk. Okay, this one is more directly related to futures, options, and swaps. Sama juga operational risk. We have discussed this one. Okay. Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, secara ringkasnya, ini saja yang kita belajar sepanjang semester ini. Okey, ada satu lagi saya lupa, tambah satu lagi. Ada dua lagi tambah. Right? Satu tambah satu lagi. Uh, um, okay, regulation. Regulation. That's the. Okay, Basel 3 lah, right? Di Malaysia kita juga ada Securities Commission, right? Ataupun BAFIA. Okay, ada banyak lah regulation, right? So, okay. So, untuk gunakan instrumen-instrumen ini, option, future, swaps, right? There's a regulation we have to follow, right? Regulation. Okay, contohnya our capital must be within certain percentage, right? Cannot be lower than that certain percentage. Okay, this one we will look further. Okay, yang belum kita bincang lebih detail lah, right? Semester ni banyak cuti kan? Okay, so sikit saja. Okay, boleh. And then final lecture. Okay, I want to get your opinion. Maybe someone can respond. Okay, as we can see, daripada awal semester hingga sekarang, minggu ke-13, kita sudah 14 minggu, minggu depan 14 minggu kita belajar menguruskan risiko-risiko ini. So you be the professional, kan? Walaupun ada banyak lagi, but by now, as a graduate, akan graduate convocation, right? So maybe you can think as a financial risk manager. Because kita bukan sahaja syarikat-syarikat besar yang terdedah kepada risiko-risiko ini. Kita sebagai individual pun juga terdedah dengan risiko-risiko ini. So kita perlu menguruskanlah risiko. Contohnya jika ada simpan wang, kita ada yang mungkin ada banyak wang, tidak mau simpan wang dalam bank. Mengapa tak macam dululah di kampung-kampung kan? Orang-orang tua tidak mau simpan wang dalam wang jual sayur di tamu kan? Atau banyak wang untung. Mereka tidak mau simpan wang di bank. Simpan di mana? Simpan di bawah bantal. Di bawah laci. Jadi bila ditanya, kenapa tidak mau simpan di bank? Tidak mau simpan wang di bank sebab terdedah kepada risiko kadar faedah. Nanti ataupun terdedah kepada risiko currency risk. Right? Nanti ringgit. Walaupun tidak simpan di bank pun, wang itu terdedah kepada currency risk. Nilainya akan turun naik juga. Right? Lebih-lebih nowadays, we have inflation. Right? Inflation, which is interest rate risk. Right? Inflation is part of interest rate risk. Right? Dulu, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if 10 sen, 10 sen boleh dapat 2 biji gula-gula. Right? Sekarang 10 sen boleh dapat berapa? Berapa sudah? Saya confused. Dulu 10 sen boleh dapat berapa biji gula-gula? Owen berapa boleh dapat? 10 years ago? Testing? Are you with me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Dalam arti kata lain, wang ringgit telah jatuh lah, right? Alright, so next one, Sukumarisan, thumbs up lagi. So in other words, the money has depreciated. Our money has depreciated in value, regardless whether we kept our money in the bank or under the pillow. Still exposed. What I meant is, these risks affect everyone, right? Affect everyone. So maybe we can start managing our portfolio, right? So even though we can use all these instruments, financial derivative, as a financial derivative, we can use this instrument, we can use futures, we can use option, we can also use swaps to manage this risk. There are instances whereby the use of this instrument instead resulted in catastrophe, right? Walaupun kita tahu instrumen ini boleh digunakan untuk melindungi nilai, ada kemungkinan ataupun kejadian yang boleh menyebabkan risiko semakin teruk, kerugian semakin teruk jika instrumen ini digunakan dengan cara yang tidak sepatutnya. Oleh sebab itu, next week we will finalize everything. Therefore, we have to understand mishap that occur, derivative mishap, mishaps, and what we can learn from them. Okay, so hari ini kita bincang inilah derivative mishaps and what we can learn from them. So basically, those highlighted are the topics that we need to go further lah, right? Lebih detail. So hari ini kita akan bincang interest rate swaps dan juga currency swap. So minggu depan kita bincang the Greeks and the regulations and the mishap. Alright, any questions so far? No question. Let us look at interest rate swaps. One minute. Let me get the slide. Right. So first of all, we look at the interest rate swaps. Okay, kita bincang currency swap. Okay, first of all, what is currency risk? Okay, currency risk is the risk that fluctuation in currency between the exchange between two countries may increase the risk of making losses. Right? So sebelum tu let us define together. Let us define together what is currency risk. Where is it? Okay, here. Okay, define. We define together. We discuss together. Okay, what is currency? Anyone? Comparison, what is currency? Boleh tengok kamera, on kamera dulu, tengok-tengok, berkenal-kenalan dulu. Saya lupa panggil nama kan. Can I see? Let me check the attendance. Excel. Okay. Okay. Gunaselan, is Gunaselan here? Masih lagi absent. Itiswari, are you here? Absent. Law Wailun, still absent. Lim Teck Wei, absent. Fazli, absent. Firdaus, absent. Tazrina, absent. Safika, absent. Fatin, absent. Nurjana, absent. Fatin ada, okay, Fatin ada. Okay, Nurjana absent. Radin, Owen, absent. Rizwan, absent. Aisin, absent. Sazrina. Maximus, and which one is Maximus? Okay, Firdaus ada. Okay, Nur Aisyah absent. Then Mingru absent. Tarini absent. Oman Nasari absent. Okay. Masih
Sir,
banyak
I'm
absent lah.
here.
Huh? Ada,
I-
sorry.
Bhuvneshri,
I cannot
I'm
see
here.
the. Okay, wait, ada. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't see the thumbs up. Banyak thumbs up kan, so I cannot. So better, yes. Okay, so ada banyak lagi yang masih absent lah, yang tidak pernah masuk kelas kan. Right, let us continue. Let us continue. Gunaselan absent lagi ya. So some of you will be barred from taking the final exam lah, right? Because you absent more than. Because this is a faculty's role, right? It's not my role. This is also managing risk lah, right? Managing risk.
Oh, sir.
Okay, later, attendance later lah, later ya, kita sambung ya. Nanti habis kelas ya. Nanti, that's all tadi sudah kita on hold dahulu lah, hold dulu. Okay, later you get in touch again ya, because we want to proceed with the lecture already. Okay, what is currency? Anyone? Sudah final year? You can use the mic because I cannot see the difficult for me to read. Kita open lah ya. Sharing lah ya. Kita sharing what we learn together, we study together, we learn together. This after all, this is your final semester, right? So we want to hear directly lah, right? Okay, Kamarisan, what is currency in your opinion?
So it's a medium of exchange between countries, sir.
Okay, very good. Any other answers? Any other? Rafizan? Between two countries. Okay, very good. Any other answers? Rafizan, Samita? Owen? Okay, very good. So, contoh between two countries. For example, we have RM and USD. Berapa sekarang? Boleh tengok chat GPT? Can you check? Can someone check? Or can Google? RM to USD. USD. Berapa?
0.24, Doctor.
Okay, alright. 0.24. Okay. Ini 0.24 ini duit Malaysia atau duit USD?
US.
Okay, maksudnya ini adalah USD bagi RM. Betul? Okay, apa beza ini? But I want this one. RM to USD. This is very basic, yeah. This is very, very basic. By now you should know this. Come on, berapa? Ada dalam chat? Are you in the chat? Ada message?
4 ringgit 25 cents, sir.
Berapa?
4 ringgit 25 cents.
4.25. This is correct. Okay. So this is the meaning. RM 425 for $1. Okay, sorry. For $1. This one is USD 24 cent for 1 ringgit. Right? So this is what, okay. This is very important. By now, everyone must know this. Yeah? So, this is very simple. This is very basic. This one is very basic. But I think some of you, I think, still confused with this one. So please take note. Okay. Where are we now? We are in Malaysia. So our home country is Malaysia. Because we are in Malaysia, our home country. Okay, our home currency, sorry. Home currency is Malaysia. So this is our ringgit. So this one is called direct quotation. And this one is indirect quotation. Okay? Boleh Google juga, boleh tanya Mr. ChatGPT juga to confirm the direct quotation and indirect quotation. Right. Suppose you only have this one. You tak ada dapat ini. Macam mana you dapat? Okay. How to convert? How to convert? I think, have you learned this? I think, have you done this? How to convert indirect to direct quotation. Anda sudah belajar ini? Anda sudah belajar? Sudah belajar kan? Subilah. Okay, contohnya 1 bahagi 0.24. Anyone? Can you get the answer? 1 divided by 0.24.
4.17.
4.17.
Yeah, you should get this one. 4.4 berapa? Calculator 1 divided
4.17.
4.17. So this one should be something is tidak there's a mispricing lah, right? This is the amount should be, because this one is what we call, it should be reciprocal. Reciprocal. Kalau kita tahu apa itu reciprocal, boleh tanya Mr. ChatGPT. Saya pun tanya dia juga banyak ya. So reciprocal you can this one lah. This is the meaning. Bagi dia tolak ni. Okay, how about you divide? How about you divide 1 divide 4.17? 1 divide 4.17. You should get 0.24. Is it correct? Right? So this is what we meant by reciprocal. So this is very important. How to cross currency. This one, I assume you know this one. Yeah, you should have done this. Yeah. So what is currency? Very good. Is a medium of exchange between two countries, right? So as everyone is aware, this value changes every day. Nanti petang lain lagi harganya. Right? Nanti petang lain lagi harganya. Okay, so in this case, now we want to see, okay, the answer is, what is currency? Another definition I will give you, it is the price of money internationally. Okay, harga, it is the price of money internationally ataupun globally lah, internationally. In other words, it is the price of money when we buy and sell goods or services cross borders, internationally lah, luar negara lah, right? So yeah, it is correct medium of exchange, but yes, it's correct. But from looking from another perspective, it is actually the price of money internationally. Okay, let us look from two perspectives. I mean, two position. First one, okay, is importer, and also we have another party, exporter. So we are in Malaysia. Home country is Malaysia. Home currency is Malaysia ringgit. Right? Right. So are we, when we import from USA. Sorry, import to US. Export, salah ya, salah. From US, export to US. Okay. Dalam situasi ini, kita import barang daripada Amerika. Are we selling dollar or buying dollar? Anyone? Import. Import means, import apa maksud import ya? Import kita ambil barang antar Malaysia dari US, bring to Malaysia, right? So are we buying or selling? Kita beli barang kan? Confused. We import means we buy goods or services from US. So what does this mean? Are we selling or buying USD? Anyone? Testing 1, 2, 3. Come on, we discuss together.
Buying USD, sir.
Buying USD. Very correct. You buy USD, right? Buy USD. At the same time, campur, you selling RM, right? So you sell So selling RM, the price of RM will go down. You buy USD, USD will go up. Can you see the effect, right? Similarly, exporter, we sell goods or services to USA. So are we selling or buying USD? The answer is we are selling USD. Selling USD, buying RM. Does it make sense? Right? Because it's the price of money, right? We buy USD, we sell RM. So in this case, we export, we sell USD, USD will go down. I mean, not necessarily, but when we sell something, the supply in the market will increase, right? When the supply goes up, price go down. When we buy means the demand for RM will, when the demand is high, the price will also go up, right? So this dynamic will cause the exchange rate to go up and down. Not only USD and RM, but other currencies as well. Right? So what's happening now? Seems like we're selling more RM. That's why our currency goes up. I mean, the demand for our currency is low. Yes, right? So as the importer and the exporter, this affect our profitability, right? This affect our profitability, depending on whether RM goes down or goes up, depending whether, i.e., depending whether we are the importer or are we the exporter, right? Right? Any question? No question. Very good. So we know what is currency. Okay, we know where it comes from. Why does it fluctuate every day? It's because of the demand and supply of one particular currency, right? So this is a very dynamic. A lot of factors beside the buying and selling. There are other factors causing the demand and supply of one particular currency, right? So the most important question: how to manage currency risk. We can use currency swap. So what is currency swap? In fact, what is a swap? First of all, let us look at the slide. 1 minute. Let me get the slide. Right, can you see the slide? Give me number one, if you can see the slide. Testing 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, testing. Welcome to GA 30503. Financial Risk Management. Selamat datang. Wawan Nisria. Okay, thank you very much for the responses. Okay, let us look what is a currency swap. Okay, a currency swap is a transaction in which two parties agree to exchange a fixed amount of one currency for another, right? The rationale for such transaction is to hedge currency risk and interest rate risk. Okay, I would like to highlight this sentence, right? This is very important. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, currency is the price of money internationally. right? And interest rate risk is also a price of money. Apakah beza dua ini? Currency adalah kadar tukaran asing antara dua negara, iaitu yang merupakan harga wang di pasaran antarabangsa. Contohnya, untuk membeli wang USD, 1 unit USD, saya memerlukan RM4, 17 sen. Berapa tadi? How much was it? To buy 1 USD. How much do I need? I need to give away RM4 plus. Right? So this is the price of money. Price of money to buy $1, I need to pay to buy with RM4 plus ringgit. So that is the price of one USD, RM4 plus. Okay, so in other words, currency is the price of money internationally. Dalam masa yang sama, at the same time, we also have interest rate risk. What is interest rate risk? Interest rate risk is also the price of money domestically. Harga wang dalam negara, dalam sesebuah negara. So kita ada dua harga wang di sini, yaitu currency risk, yaitu harga wang di pasaran antarabangsa global, dan juga interest rate risk, yaitu pasaran wang dalam negara domestically. For example, untuk mendapatkan 10,000 saya beli 10,000, saya perlu bayar 1% bunga interest rate contohnya. So this is the price of money. So even though we can use currency swap, it's a very good instrument. What I mean is currency swap adalah satu agreement yang sangat penting. Kerana dengan menggunakan currency swap ini, kita bukan hanya menguruskan currency risiko kadar tukaran, kita juga menguruskan risiko kadar faedah. Right? So, the main difference between interest rate swap and currency swap is that an IRS national principle is never exchanged. Whereas in currency swap, the national principle in two different currencies is exchanged. Typically, the first exchange is often based on prevailing spot exchange rates at the time. Okay, to understand this, I think it is best for us to look at one example. Let us look one example. Okay, there's one example here. Okay, arbitrage kita tidak cover lah, because kita, remember, we focus on hedging ya untuk kursus ini ya. Please take note as we have discussed earlier. Okay, let us look at this example. I'm trying to magnify this slide. All right. Okay. Illustration. Pacific Glove Corporation, a Malaysian glove and rubber product manufacturer, has a large and burgeoning market in Taiwan. So ini syarikat Malaysia, ada cawangan di Taiwan, right? They are producing glove and rubber products. The company feels that it has to have its own warehouse and distribution center in Taiwan. So mereka ingin membuka satu gudang ataupun pusat pengagihan di Taiwan. Dalam arti kata lain, mereka ingin membesarkan lagi bangunan perniagaan mereka di Taiwan. The total cost of land, building and all shipping and handling equipment expected to be Taiwanese $200 million. Okay, so this will be an one-off investment with subsequent capital expenditure expected to be minimal. Given its expected cash flow from Taiwan operation, PGC, iaitu Pacific Globe Corporation, believe it can settle a Taiwanese dollar 200 million financing in 3 years. Okay, so mereka memerlukan wang. Syarikat di Malaysia ini memerlukan Taiwanese dollar 200 juta dan untuk tempoh 3 tahun. Accordingly, the company has negotiated with its Taiwanese banker, the National Bank of Taipei, and BOT funding as follow. So, syarikat Malaysia meminjam Taiwanese dollar 200 million. Interest fixed 9% payable annually at EN, loan tenure 3 years with lump sum principal payment at the 3rd year. Right. So, apakah risiko syarikat Malaysia ini? Okay, soalan pertama. Adakah syarikat Malaysia ini membeli atau menjual Taiwanese dollar? Atau membeli atau menjual ringgit? Anyone? What do you think? When we borrow money, are we buying or selling money? Come on. This is very basic. Bila kita pinjam, adakah kita membeli atau menjual wang? Testing 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Buying money.
Sorry, come again.
Buying money, sir.
Okay, buying money. Okay, thank you, Floria. We buy money because we borrow. We buy money, we borrow. How much is what is the price? 9%. Okay, we borrow, we buy money for 3 years only. Right? Pinjam lah dalam kata lain. Tapi we say it buy because we will have it. Okay, we put it in our balance sheet as a loan. Alright, next one. So syarikat Malaysia ini ingin beli Taiwanese dollar. Ini soalan? Ada soalan? No question, very good. Okay, next one. Dalam masa yang sama, where is it? Okay. At the same time, Evergreen, the Taiwanese shipping and transportation giant, has operation at all of Malaysia's ports. Di dalam masa yang sama, ada satu company dari Taiwan. Dan syarikat dari Taiwan ini ada bisnes lah di Malaysia. Di pelabuhan di Malaysia. Right? It now wants to build its own handling facility at Malaysia's newest port, the port of Tanjung Pelepas. Dan mereka ingin membuat satu handling facility, kemudahan handling di pelepas. Jadi dalam arti kata lain, syarikat Taiwan ini ingin membesarkan perniagaan mereka di Malaysia. The total investment needed will be 20 million. Evergreen's Malaysian banker, Public Bank Berhad P, is willing to provide funding as follow: principal amount 20 million, interest fixed 6% payable annually at year end, loan tenure 3 years with lump sum principal payment at the end of year 3rd year. Okay, look at this sentence which has been highlighted in red. Since the two companies have opposite needs, a recurrency swap can be a means by which both companies manage the exchange rate. Okay, yang di Malaysia, syarikat di Malaysia ada cawangan di Taiwan, mereka ingin membeli Taiwanese dollar. Syarikat Taiwan di Malaysia ingin membeli US dollar, ringgit Malaysia. So we can exchange, right? This one, dia ingin beli ringgit Malaysia. Okay, if each firm takes the loan being offered by its bank without doing anything more, they face exchange rate risk, both on the principal amount and the annual interest payments. To see how the swap can be structured, assume that the spot exchange rate between the Taiwanese dollar and the ringgit is 10 Taiwanese dollar per ringgit. To log in, okay, Taiwanese dollar is 10 Taiwanese dollar per ringgit. Untuk RM1 kita perlu bayar 10. This is important when we want to. So in this case, we have to look. We should be able to look from the Malaysian company and Taiwan company lah, right? Because we have to know which home currency is the currency direct quotation or indirect quotation, right? So are we the buyer or are we the seller of one particular currency, right? Because when we buy something in terms of currency, we buy something, we sell the currency, guys. The currency swap will look as the following. PG takes loan principal 200 million from NBOT on forward sales to Evergreen. Okay, which in turn gives PGC the 20 million it has received from public bank. Pacific Globe now takes the 20 million received from Evergreen, converts it at the spot. We convert it at spot rate to 1 million. This principal amount are then reversed at the end of the year. So let us look at the diagram. Okay, this is what happened. Syarikat Malaysia di Taiwan pinjam 200 million, serahkan kepada Evergreen. Di Evergreen pinjam public bank 20 million, serahkan. So ini adalah 10 kan, Taiwanese. So we can see dalam sepanjang year 1 until year 3, ini adalah the interest payment 9%, 6%, okay. Dan sepanjang pada tahun ketiga kita kembalikan saja. So dalam kes ini currency risk telah selesai diuruskan. Cuma interest rate lah perlu diuruskan lagi, right? So please have a look at this slide. This one arbitrage rate, and I think please have a look at this one, very important. The example, right? Please understand this one. How can we, are we the buyer or seller? Are we selling foreign currency or are we buying home currency, right? I know it's very straightforward, but sometimes it might be confusing too for some. Right, let us look again. Any question? No question. Let us look at the Word file. Okay, so today we have done currency swap. Okay, next week we will finalize everything. Okay, next week we will cover the Greeks delta neutral, gamma neutral, interest rate swap, currency swap we have done today. Then we've done regulation and derivatives. And let us look at the ITEL. ITEL minggu ke berapa? Minggu ke 13. So this one we will cover next week, yeah. We will finish everything because we have a lot of public holidays on Mondays this semester. So okay, make sure you submit. I understand some has not completed. Ada belum siap lagi assignment. So I'm giving. I think that's about it for today. So please do your assignment. You have to submit it by this weekend, and for that reason there will be no tutorial this evening. This afternoon, the tutorial. So please make sure that there will be no more excuses for submitting late. Nanti last minute, sir saya lambat hantar, lambat 1 minit saja sir. It won't be entertained anymore. Right? I'm giving you time now. Please submit on time. There will be no more excuses. Right? Any question? Please use this time. Make sure you submit on time. Because normally it happens almost every semester, right? Sir, lambatlah hantar, sorry sir. Saya lambat hantar 1 minit saja sir. I mean, come on, right? Because this, you guys are going to graduate. Nanti your boss ask you work in a bank, offshore bank. Maybe some of you will be working in Maybank or CIMB Maybank offshore financial park. Sorry sir, lambat antar. 1 minit saja bos. Nanti what will happen? You're fired. Okay, so this is come on, make it a habit to respect the time, right? We are right, a university student, right? Respect the time. Not respect me. You don't respect me, that's fine, but respect the time. Make it a habit, right? Any soalan? No question. That's about it. I'll see you guys next week. Take the time. No tutorial this afternoon. However, make sure assignment on time. Make it properly lah. As a student, right? Okay. Attendance. Kejap ya. Okay. Attendance. Okay. Where's the attendance? Hilang. Oh, ada. Sekejap ya. Okay, please take your attendance. Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan? Still sleeping? Wake him up. It's almost 10 o'clock already. Okay, guys, I'm going to switch off my okay, 60. Okay, you may leave. Those who had taken your attendance, you may leave. I'll see you guys next week. No tutorial this afternoon. Make sure use this time to do the ITEL assessment and also the assignment. Okay. No more excuse, No more excuse. Sir, lambat 1 minit, 5 minit. No. Okay, all the best. Bye.
Thank you, sir.